Hello, guys. Good morning. Roger Wakefield here, the expert plumber. Today, we are talking about the top 10 things you need to know about water heaters. So, water heaters are very intricate. They've got internal parts, they've got external parts, but the things that you need to know as a homeowner are what can save you money. So, number one, how to shut the water off to it. There's three different ways. All water heaters should have a shutoff valve right at the water heater. And hopefully it's a quarter turn ball valve where you just reach up, grab the handle, turn it a quarter of a turn, and that's going to shut the water off. If you've got a gate valve there, you can try to use it. Chances are, if it's been in there as long as the water heater or even longer, maybe you've gone through a couple of water heaters. The problem you can run into is once you close that gate valve, the threads on the shaft of that, you've got a disc that goes down to actually shut the water off. Problem is, once you turn that a little bit too tight, it starts stripping those threads. When you go to turn it back on, it may not open properly. So the second place you can go turn the water off is hopefully you've got a valve box right outside your house. Once again, hopefully you've got a quarter turn ball valve. If you don't have a quarter turn ball valve at either one of those places, guys, that is something I definitely recommend you think about changing out. And I don't mean with shark bite valves, but anyway, you may want to call a plumber on that to get one soldered in. The third place that you can shut your water off is at your water meter. Now, this may be the best spot. Some water meters you have to have a special key to get into. Some you've got to have a special wrench to turn it. But guys, make sure that you know in advance that if your water heater starts leaking or even a leak on the hot line, you know how to shut off the hot water. Another thing is make sure you know how to shut off the water to your house, whether it's at the valve box or whether it's all the way out at the meter. So one of two ways or one of three ways there, two of them may require another valve. Number two, how to determine if it is gas or electric. We get calls all the time. Hey, I need a new water heater. And we ask the people, okay, do you have a gas or do you have an electric water heater? Literally, they don't know. So ways to make it easy. If you've got a hose connecting up to the bottom of your water heater, the control valve, that's going to be a gas line. Up on top of the water heater, if you've got about a 3-inch round galvanized piece of pipe coming up out of the middle of it, that is your gas flue pipe. That's also a gas water heater. Now, if you don't have anything connecting at the bottom like that and up on top, all you have are some wires coming in, whether it's old Romex or whatever, or you've got the spiral wrapped wire protector, that's going to be an electric water heater. Also on the front of it, if you've got two little cover plates, those are covering your heating elements and your thermostats. That's an electric water heater. Like I said, line coming in the top, electric water heater, flue going out the top, gas connection at the bottom, gas water heater. So those are very easy ways for you to look at it and identify it. Also, take a picture of your cover plate. It'll give you the serial number and model number, and you can find out information about it. So number three, how to shut the gas off to it. Guys, if you have a gas water heater down at the bottom, before that flex connector or before the rigid piping where the gas line comes out of the wall, there should be a valve there. You should be able to turn that valve 90 degrees and shut the water off to it. Why is that important? If you shut the water off, you definitely want to shut the gas off, okay? If you're going to change it out, you definitely need to shut that gas off. You may need a crescent wrench. You may need a pair of channel locks. You may be able to just grab it with your hand and turn it. But guys, shutting that gas off to your water heater is something you do need to know how to do. Number four, how to determine the age of your water heater. Okay, I talked to you earlier about taking a picture of the cover plate. That cover plate's going to give you the serial number and the model number. Now, normally you can go to a website for whatever brand water heater you have, enter your serial number. It'll tell you what date your water heater was born. It'll tell you how long the warranty is on it. It'll tell you if it's still under warranty. Guys, this is good information because sometimes we get calls from people saying, hey, I need to change out my water heater. I just bought this house 2 years ago and the water heater is leaking. So we'll get all that information from them, and they're very pleased to find out their water heater is still under warranty. So that saves them a lot of money. So number five, what is old for a water heater? Also, taking that same information, you can actually go online and check, like I said, and see what day your water heater was born. The good thing about that is most water heaters have, well, all water heaters have at least a 6-year warranty. Some have 8 years, some have 10, some have 12, different warranties, different water heaters. Here's the deal. It depends on where your water heater is as to how bad it is. But to determine the age of it, get that information, go to the website, find out how old it is. That should also tell you how old or how long your warranty is. If you've got a 12-year warranty and you've got a 6 or 8-year water heater, you're probably pretty good. If you've got a 6-year warranty and you've got a 12 or 14-year-old water heater, you probably want to think about changing it pretty quick, especially if it's up in the attic. Number 6, can it be repaired and is it worth repairing? Here's what I tell people. If your water heater's not leaking, yes, it can be repaired. On an electric water heater, you can change the thermostats, you can change the heating elements, you can change the anode rod, you can change the dip tube, you can change everything to make that water heater work. Now, if your water heater is over 6 or 8 years old, chances are you don't want to spend that money. And here's why. Once it gets to be that old, the life of it, well, we can't tell you. It may last another week. It may last another month. It may last 5 more years. But why would you want to invest several $100s in repairing a water heater that may die next week instead of going ahead and spending a couple of $1,000s and replacing it, upgrading it, doing it right, getting one that's more efficient, putting in a lead-free quarter-turn ball valve? Think about your investment. And don't get me wrong, I understand some people are like, look, I just want to repair it. We're moving. We're going to sell the house. I don't want to buy the new buyers a new water heater. Here's the deal, guys. It's your decision, but think about it wisely. Can I repair it myself? Absolutely. That is another great question. The heating elements, they can be changed out. You need an element wrench. You're going to have to drain it down first. The thermostats, they can be changed without draining it down, but you're going to have to turn off the power. Make sure you turn off the power. Even on the heating elements, turn your power off first because you don't want to put yourself in a dangerous situation. Turn off the breaker and then double check to make sure that it really turned off. Can I repair it on a gas water heater? Absolutely. Just remember, when you're working with gas, people, be safe. Be very safe. The lives of your family and you and anybody who ever comes to visit you, all those lives are in jeopardy. So what I tell you is, look, if you're going to change the gas or work on the gas, test it like a plumber does. Soap it down, put an air test on it, go get a good diaphragm gauge, do a check on it. There's so many things that you need to do. But on gas, be very careful. Back to the gas water heater, the burner assembly, the thermocouple, the gas control valve. There's so many things, the dip tube on it. There's so many things, the anode rod. There's so many things, as you see, they keep popping into my head. There's so many things that you can change. But guys, remember, on a gas water heater, please be careful. The last thing you want to do is hurt somebody because you didn't understand what you were doing. Number 8 is tankless better than a tank? Guys, they are. The ROI, they're going to cost you less to operate, period. Now, you've also got to look at, if you're putting a tankless water heater in where a tank goes, you need to do a gas load calculation chart. You need to find out, is your gas system big enough to handle that safely? That old gas water heater probably takes about 40,000 BTUs. That new tankless water heater takes about 199,000 BTUs. There's a big difference there. You need to know how long your entire gas system is. You need to know how many BTUs are on the entire gas system. You need to know how many BTUs could be on it in the future. If there's a drop there for a dryer and a kitchen range or something, and you're not using those, you still have to figure the gas load calculations for those fixtures to do a proper gas load calculation chart. The reason being, you may figure it without those. You may sell the house in 2 years. A new buyer comes in, puts in a dryer, puts in a gas range. Then all of a sudden he fires up the range one day. The tankless water heater kicks on, draws 200,000 BTUs, actually 199 at 200, it becomes a boiler. draws 199,000 BTUs, puts the fire out on the range, but the gas keeps blowing. Guys, that's a dangerous situation. So can it be done? Absolutely. Is tankless better? Yes. It's more of an investment. Sometimes the investment may make it not worth it. But is tankless better? Absolutely. Anytime you can do something to save yourself money for the rest of the life of the product, it's a great deal. Number 9, how do I drain my water heater? Guys, draining your water heater is really easy. Down at the bottom, you've got what looks like a hose bib that you can hook a hose up to. Whenever you run the other end of that hose, either run it down a drain, if you can do it safely, run it out to your driveway, run it out to the alley, get it somewhere where don't do it in the yard because it will kill your grass. I know this personally as a trained professional. You can kill your grass. You can kill plants. Get it on the concrete, whether it's your driveway, front sidewalk, whatever. Just remember, if you're on the sidewalk or driveway, keep the water from running over to the grass. It will kill it. Also, make sure you put it in an area where no kids are going to be around. The last thing that you want is some little kid to scald themselves because you're draining down the water heater. So, are tankless water heaters really worth it? Now, I know I talked a little bit about them earlier, but guys, the things to think about. You may have to change the vent system. You may have to change the gas piping system. Are they worth it? A tankless water heater compared to a tank water heater. And guys, I'm a plumber. I changed mine out and I went back in with a tank. The reason being, I've got a 2-story house. For me to get the new vent pipe in, I would have had to open up walls upstairs to run it up through that chase. Now, it wasn't worth it for me. By the time I did all that, the cost was going to be so big that it's like, you know what? I'm just going to go back in with a tank type water heater. I did go a high efficient one to make sure that I'm saving as much money as I can with a tank system. But doing it that way saved me a lot of money on having to open up walls upstairs just to get the vent pipe up. Is it worth it? Guys, in most cases it is. If your water heater is downstairs in a garage and you've got a 2-story house, it may not be. It's not worth it for everybody, but guys, most of the time it is worth it, and it's a great thing to have. Like I said earlier, anytime you can save yourself money for the rest of the life of the appliance, it's a good thing and something to think about. Guys, this is Roger Wakefield from Texas Green Plumbing. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to get this information out to people. Look, I'm a plumber. I make money doing plumbing, but I also think that an educated consumer is a smart consumer. It lets them know things that they can do or questions to ask in order to make a wiser decision. Make sure your plumber gives you options and choices because there's always not just one thing that'll take care of it. So like I said, please subscribe to the channel. Please tell your friends about it. If you like it, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. We love the messages we get. We love the questions that we get, and that's where some of these questions come from. My name's Roger Wakefield with Texas Green Plumbing, saving you money one drop at a time.